Greetings. Welcome to my hot mess. Yeah, this is the results of bleaching my hair. Well, bleaching my roots, doing a bleach bath on the ends. So I need to do something to unify this because I could try to color correct my way out of it, but it's going to be a lot of work and it's not really going to work. So what I'm going to do is xmondo slate gray on the roots. And then I've got a purple to kind of go in the mids and blue for the ends because I'm putting more blue in my hair, obviously. And hopefully this little pink band won't totally screw me over. We will find out. So I don't know where I was going with that beginning. This is what we've got, and we're going to work with it. Just like pulling up out random pieces and looking at them, and yeah, it's a mess. So I really need to trim this piece of hair off, but I refuse. That'll probably be next week. I'm just looking to see if I missed any spots bleaching. Doesn't look like it on a quick glance. How did the bottom turn out actually? My skin's very red from bleaching, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Now, putting gloves on is often the most challenging thing. No, they're okay. They're dry. Okay, I need a brush for the gray. It's always confusing to me when I've got multiple colors on my counter. And I've already made a mess. Brush. I decided not to dilute this slate gray, which I may or may not regret. We will see. I know I liked it when I used it before, but I don't remember if I diluted it at all. Do I ever know what I'm really doing? No is the answer. But I know that I really did like this gray enough for it to be my new go-to gray. And yes, I did just say in the last video that my plan is to keep the roots light. But xmondo colors fade pretty fast, so it'll be okay. Oh god, I forgot how strong they smell. Ugh. Ugh. Why do things have to be so perfumey? It's a nice smell if you're not allergic to perfume, but Jesus Christ, I wish the companies made scent-free versions of hair dye. So last night, an absolutely horrifying thing happened. I was sitting in the toilet, and I felt something on my leg, and there was a freaking spider on my leg, bare leg. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So of course I panicked and managed to get it like brushed off me. And then in the time it took for me to get Phil to be my exterminator, it had disappeared. So my crotch spider is still. I hope it's not still in the bathroom because I'm afraid to go pee every time now. It wasn't this bathroom, it was my other one, but spider. Like of all the most vulnerable times to find a little random spider in your crotch, and I have no idea where it came from. Because I'm wearing tight pants, so it's not like it came up my pant leg or something. I don't know. And like, this isn't the type of spider that you see on like walls or anything. And plus the walls on the other side of me. I have no idea where this spider came from. The only thing I can think of is under the toilet seat, which is like a freaking horror story. And now every time I go to the bathroom today, I'm like lifting lifting up the toilet seat to look and see if it's there. It's goddamn all the places you don't want to encounter a spider. And of course, this just like cements this whole toilet spider fear I've had, because one of my friends made me afraid of outhouses when she told me that sometimes dock spiders in Ontario will be like hanging out in the toilet and on the toilet seat. So yeah, she made me afraid of outhouses. And now I'm afraid of my bathroom too. The terror. Of course, Phil couldn't find it once I'd gone to retrieve him to protect me. He's not a very good protector, regardless. And then, because this is the type of, I live in a basement, so there are some spiders. It's just how it is. Yeah. So then I ended up on the good old Google looking for what type of frickin' spider it was that was on my lap. And I can't tell, but I also creep myself out by looking at pictures of spiders. I really don't like spiders, in case you can tell. Yeah, I think, well, the two that I could kind of narrow it down to were a cellar spider or a house, like a common house spider. But not everywhere. I think it's a cellar spider, but sometimes, like some places you look, those are the same as daddy longlegs. And it's not a daddy longlegs. At least not what I call a daddy longlegs. I don't know, but it's got long legs. But it's not a daddy longlegs. And the legs look too long to be hung. Oh, God. Why am I even talking about spiders? It's just making me think about spiders. But why? It's my lap. You're my better skin. And yeah, normally I try to have like just a live and let live policy towards spiders, unless they're like right up in my face. And this kind, I think, is supposed to like keep down the other insects. Well, all spiders are supposed to keep down the population of other insects, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. I always forget that this color is like cement and kind of hard to distribute because of that. Okay, let's do some purple. How long is it going to take me to accidentally grab the wrong color? Probably not very long. I'm just going to use my hand. It's like this will be easier. It's okay if it mixes a lot with the gray. It looks like it's mixing a lot with the gray. Oh well. Whatever I end up with is probably going to be better than what I started with, so. Just dripping blobs of color everywhere, because obviously, what else would I be doing? That's probably more than I need. This is where you start at the bottom and work your way up. Just know it's difficult. Oh, I can't really tell you what I'm using for purple and blue because I just found this. As is common, I found a thing of old color and it's kind of purpley blue, so I just really diluted it, and I have no idea what was originally in it. It wasn't from my last purple excursion. I don't know when it's from. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the ends for now. here we go. I think I mentioned it at one point, but a while ago on a trip to Costco, I found a blue hydrangea, and I've wanted a blue hydrangea forever, like forever. But I live in zone 3, so you can't really grow them here. They're like a zone 5, I think, sort of plant. You can grow like the pink ones here, or the pink and green ones, and white ones, but yeah, you can't grow the blue ones or the ones that turn like blue. Well, the blue ones are the ones that turn blue, purple, white. And normally you can't even buy them here because you can't grow them here. But I found one and I bought it, and I don't know how long it had been. It had probably been sitting on a shelf for like 2 or 3 weeks without being watered because it was in a rough shape and like dry. And the flowers were all intact when I bought it, but the stress of not being watered and then me taking it outside when it was below 0 and the rustling around at the drive home really did a number on it. Every single flower, except for one, browned off and dried off, and all the leaves fell off except for one little stick. Like, no, I will take care of you, like little hydrangea, and I will make you survive. Whether you like it or not, you are going to survive. So the good news is, like, I don't know, a month later, 2 months later, it's been a while, I'm starting to get little leaf buds on the formerly dry dead sticks. So it looks like it's gonna make it. And I do not have the best track record with plants. It's just kind of like, I maybe remember to water them occasionally. Yeah, usually it's just kind of a crapshoot. Like, I buy it and kind of slowly watch it die. That's how I do with plants. If something has to be really, really hardy to survive my household. But it looks like it's gonna make it, and I'm excited. Plus the one stick that didn't dry off and brown up. It still has a flower on it, which is nice. A flower bunch, I don't know what you call them. Flower clump. But it looks like it's gonna live. That is happening here. Okay. I might just cut this part out because you're probably not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So if there's a cut, that's what's happening. It's like cotton candy hair. Just not very appetizing cotton candy. What am I doing? It's really confusing having 3 brushes happening. So if you want to know why I'm confused, I just cleaned all of this. So yeah, well, I guess that's my bleach ball from yesterday. Yeah, it does not take very long for a total mess. It's confusing having all these things. Oh, I see my battery's going low. I'm not going to put a new one in. Okay. Looks like I did get a good coverage of my roots with the bleach. So that's good. I thought about doing a silver at the roots. So that was kind of my initial plan, was to transition to having like silver blonde roots. But yeah, I think it would have been too awkward with the current mix of colors that I have. I've been too light. And I do like a dark gray too. And I also thought about just putting this over everything, but again, I think that would be too much banding. So we're just going to try to disguise it with multiple colors. And in a perfect world, this would work. Although, typically, this world is not perfect, and I'm not perfect, but we'll see what happens. My arms are definitely sore. I think last time I got quite a bit of time out of the almost dead battery, so if I suddenly disappear, that would be why. I don't know why I just got that much in my face. What's done is done. Because I'm doing things at an unusual angle. It's my own fault. I don't keep complaining about the camera angle. But I can't figure it out. Move better back the way it was. A little bit lower down. I don't know. You wouldn't think it would be that much different from how it was before, but I've been doing that for 2 years. I'm used to it. I don't need to worry about running out of this gray because I've got a whole nother bottle. So if I started doing it this way, yeah, I think this will work. Don't mind my face. I feel like I'm doing a little bit worse than usual for getting shit all over my face. It's too thick. My God. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Get this evened out. Here's hoping this works because I don't really have a backup plan if it doesn't work. Backup plans are for losers, right? Okay. Oh, I do have another sketchy story. Well, it's not super sketchy, but it's a little bit sketchy. So I just pay for my car and renter's insurance once a year, and it's in April. And I don't remember when the bill usually comes, but like it's in advance. And so it was like the beginning of April, and I'm like, why haven't I gotten my insurance bills? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've usually gotten them by now. And of course, when I got in contact with the brokerage that I use, they're like, oh, yeah, we're working on new quotes for you. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, you totally were not. You forgot. And if I hadn't remembered, then I wouldn't have been insured. So, yeah, we'll have our, like, this new broker reach out to you and tomorrow. And then he didn't. And then he didn't phone when I said that, like, please phone me because I just like, I want to get this sorted out instead of back and forth with email. And he eventually emailed me like 2 days later and like, oh, I've got a new great quote for you and like, tell me when I can call so we can set up a time. And I'm like, okay, you can call me anytime tomorrow. And then he didn't. And then he emails me at the end of the day. It's like this most unprofessional communication. Like, not using proper capitalization and using like exclamation marks, and because the subject of the first email he sent was like lowercase g, great news about renewals, exclamation mark. I'm like, what? That's really off-putting. And then, yeah, so I set up the first time that he could call, and then he didn't. And then, yeah, emailed me at the end of the day, like, again, all lowercase, no capitals, not full sentences, like, oh my God, today totally got away from me. When can I call tomorrow? So I give him a time for the next day. And then he doesn't call. And like, I think it was another 2 times he didn't call. And then I get an email like, okay, tomorrow I'm actually going to call. Give me a time. And for the love of God, not between 11 and 1. And I'm like, okay. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm like a little professional, please. And like, I don't want to be Karen. And like, by the time this had been going on for a week, I'm like, should I like call the brokers and complain about them? But like, again, I don't want to be Karen. And I don't want to screw up someone's job, even if they are completely unprofessional and a twit. So yeah, the next day rolls around, and like the 2 hour window that I'd given him was like 3/4 up, and I was like, fine, I'm just gonna phone. So I phoned, and he answers like, oh yeah, you were next on my list. Like, again, bullshit. I was not on your list because you're an unprofessional idiot. And yeah, so I found the guy insurance like, wow, that's really just like so off-putting. Like, am I too old? Like, am I that old where somebody's grammar bothers me? But like, really, you're at work. I mean, you're at work. You need to professionalism. Like, oh my God. It's, like, the way you talk on here is not the way I talk at work. Yeah, and you kind of have to be mindful of the image you're projecting of the company you're representing. I didn't complain about him, but it's still bothering me. Because, yeah, it like eventually didn't end up getting sorted out until, well, yeah, and then for the payment, because like I'm not really comfortable with giving out my credit card to some rando over the phone, but that's what I had to do. And then he couldn't get the payment process. I'm like, okay, is there a way that I can just do this directly? Because I don't trust him, and he had somehow managed to get my credit card locked and my account locked on the online payment options. I couldn't even pay it. And yeah, then I had to go through and pay the 2 policies by phone, which meant punching in every single number of the policy twice, because once for each, the dates, my whole credit card, the expiry dates, the number on the back. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I don't trust my insurance broker. That's the summary. It's quite annoying. Saga that went on, but I managed to get it paid. No thanks to him. I'm paying less than I was before, so that's a bonus, I guess. Most people's insurance has been going up. And just to make sure I wasn't being like ridiculous, I had a colleague look at the email chain, and she was like, what? Like, she thought I should have complained, and she's younger than me, so she's still millennial, but she's at least no, I'm being totally ridiculous. She's like, oh God, the tone. But I do not want to be that person who goes and complains to the manager unless something is really completely out of hand. I know it's pretty out of hand, but what is complaining to the manager going to do? It's not going to like give me any satisfaction. Well, maybe it would have. Then I would also feel bad about getting someone in trouble, assuming that he'd get in trouble for that kind of Like, it's not that fucking hard. It's not that hard. I'm assuming that the person I used to deal with as a broker isn't working there anymore. Not that I've talked to her, because I switched to this company after I had an accident in 2018. The road was snowy, and well, my lane, I was in the right lane, and the person in front of me was in the left lane, and my lane was completely snow covered and very slippery. And then this person in front of me decided to turn right from the left-hand lane, cutting in front of me, and I hit him because I did not have time to. Well, I had my brakes obviously, but then I just slid right into him. Rode off my car, which was great because I hated that car. Don't ever buy a Mazda. That's a whole story. It was a lemon. I started having problems within the first week and never stopped having problems the entire time I had that car. It was like 8 years, maybe. It was a while. 6 years. I think it was 2000. I think I got it in 2011. Yeah, endless problems from day one. Yeah, so that was totally the best case scenario writing it off because I ended up getting 10 grand for it from the insurance company, which was a nice down payment for my present car. But yeah, don't buy a Mazda. Jesus Christ, that was a bad experience. I don't remember why I started telling that story, but it wasn't a fun time. Like, I had to, yeah, because it totally smashed up the front driver's corner. And they're like, because we call the insurance company, they're like, well, can you still drive the car? And I'm like, well, I have to climb in and out of the passenger door because my door was completely destroyed and the headlights weren't working. Yeah. So at least they paid for a rental car because driving to work takes 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, depending. And taking the bus to work would take an hour and a half. So yeah, that was not going to be an option. But yeah, totally best case scenario because god damn, I hated that car. Like, just even thinking back, there was a lot of resentment. And my neighbor has a Mazda, and every time I look at it, I'm like, ugh, Mazda. I got it thinking it's going to be good, but no. So before that, I had a Ford Focus. And I don't know if it's still this way, but they used to be notorious for the transmission breaking, which is what happened to mine, of course. The transmission eventually went, and I was old enough by then. It's like there's not really much sense replacing it. Although my brother, I ended up just like passing on my garbage to my brother because he was going to fix it up, but he didn't. So I think it's still sitting in a Quonset on his property. Like, it's got no windows. It's been infested with mice. So yeah, my poor old Ford Focus. Well, Esmeralda. I think that was her name. Pretty sure it was Esmeralda. The car did me good until, transmission. Plus, when something like that goes, you don't want to ever trust it again. And I live in the city, but I'm from a small town, so I don't trust city people. And, I don't trust that a mechanic would, do the job and not rip me off, especially as a woman. Yeah, really, as a woman, you don't know anything about anything, and they're going to take advantage of you. I don't want to be like, Dad, can you come and help me? He would, but I don't want to have to do that. But I feel like that's the only way that you're not going to get completely ripped off in the city. I don't trust city people, man. I've lived in a city for over 20 years. I'm like, I don't trust you city people. And I am a city person. And my mom even refers to me as a city person. Partially because of the hair. Also, I'm making an even bigger mess now. I see dye flying everywhere, getting all over me. That's fine. Also, if you've had a good experience with Mazda, don't tell me about it because I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care. I hate Mazda. I hate them. Just a bad experience. Day one. Oh my god. Literally dye everywhere. I'm looking at my chest, on my back, coating my shirt. How did things go so wrong that you can't see all of it dripping, but it's dripping. And I'm leaning forward to be over the sink for the drippage, but it's not really working. I hope that this turns out. I think it's going to be a bit darker than I really wanted it to be. I wanted kind of Jesus Christ to go with the pastel vibe, but I feel like I don't have good experience with achieving pastels in my hair, so we're just going to go a little bit darker and hope for the best. Hope it doesn't end up looking like a mucky mess. But we'll all find out at some point. Because I'm gonna, cover it, leave it on the huge. And try to clean up in here because it's a hot mess. Oh my god, it's a mess. Also, I didn't use all the dye, which is kind of annoying, but what can you do? I don't really like it, but I don't really see a way around it given my long-term plan. The real issue is the tone of the purple, which is too pink for me, but I needed to blend it with the pink band. And then there's a bit too much of the obvious demarcation between the gray and the purple. But I feel like my only way to solve this would be to do purple on the roots, and then I'm just stuck in the same cycle that I'm stuck in. So I think that I'm going to try to live with it, but I suspect I'm not going to be able to live with it. And while I'm figuring that out, I guess I can come up with a backup plan. I'm thinking about maybe putting blue black on my roof. I'm trying to light, but I've got this ion blue black, and it's on a Aislinn video where it came out like instantly with a bleach based color remover, so I don't know, maybe I'll do that. But I need some time with this to figure it out. So this is where we're at. It's not quite a hair fail, but I don't really like it. Anyway,